everyone. This is episode 3 of the Around the Ballpark podcast. My name is Mike Redmond. I am your host alongside co-host Darren Redmond, and we are here today to talk the Chicago Cubs, all things Chicago Cubs. We're going to talk about 2024 season. We're going to talk Wrigley Field, but most importantly, we have a special 2 guests on with us today. Today, please welcome to the show. We've got Daniel and Draven, father and son, and they are season ticket holders for the Chicago Cubs, and we're going to just to get to know them a little bit. So first and foremost, welcome Daniel and Draven, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for the consideration. Thank you for finding us on our Instagram. It's an honor for us being here. Thank you very much. And Draven.
Well, thank you for everything, like for all this. So pretty much, yeah, thank you. I'm just happy that it's finally getting around everywhere. The Instagram is getting to places.
Yeah. So father and son, online I go by Wrigley Dan, and he goes by W Club Balls. And I'm a long life Chicago Cubs fan. He just barely started. He's only 15, but he started when he was in 2018 around there. No, well, when they won the World Series 2016, but officially 2018, 2019. And we just like going to the games, season ticket holders for the last couple of years, and just love Wrigley Field, pretty much the atmosphere, and just love baseball overall.
And so, Dan, let me just kind of start with you, and then Draven, I have a bazillion questions for you. But I'm gonna call an audible. Chicago Bears. First of all, Justin Fields, is he staying or is he going? Let me throw that there. Since talking Bears, what do you think?
For me, Justin Fields, I would say I want him to stay, but he's gone.
All right, I hear you. Yes, I mean that whole disconnecting your social media, that's a big thing. I think they're making a mistake. I think he's a darn good quarterback. Give him some time. No, but Draven, I want to ask you, are you really cognizant of just the history and tradition of the team that you follow? I mean, this is like one of the best teams to follow in any sport. I mean, it's not just, I keep making fun of the Padres and the Angels. I mean, great teams. But I mean, this is like the Yankees, the Cubs. You got the Cubs, you got the Red Sox, you got the Yankees. Are you aware of that? And does that mean anything to you? Not that it should, but walk me through that.
Like, honestly, like the history of everything, to be honest, is like really nice. Like, there's some certain teams where it's like okay, like they're really good. Like, how do I say this? Like, I like baseball for like the history, and then like just the player. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like the atmosphere that it gives off from everything. Like, it's just like they're all really good. They all give off different vibes, different atmospheres. Pretty much.
Oh, that's great. And how about you, Daniel? When you first became a fan, were you cognizant of it? You aware of that, or did you like grow into the history?
Well, put it this way. I grew up on the south side of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And the other team that's over there, I don't know the name, but
right.
Nobody knows. So I was growing up into it. I believe my dad liked the Cubs and my mom liked the Cubs, and one day I just started understanding the history of the Cubs, and I caught it right at a good age when they won the division in '89.
That was a great team. That was a great team.
And I remember like my favorite player back then was Mitch Williams. I love the way he was pitching, the way he found the floor and everything. And it started there when I was like, before I was 10 years old. It started 6 years old.
He was Wild Thing before Wild Thing, in the movie.
Exactly, I love that, and I'm trying to teach him about all the great old movies. Like he watched already Major League Baseball, Field of Dreams, Little Big League, Rookie of the Year. I'm trying to train him even Back to the Future. I'm trying to train him to the '80s so he would know the best movies were made in the '80s, early '90s, pretty much.
Well, that's just true. By the way, non sequitur. I mentioned during a little pre-game talk here that I drove recently from California to Cape Cod, and I had to stop by the Breakfast Club school. That's really now what, like a police station or something. I had to stop there on the way over because, I did that. Stopped at the Home Alone house. Stopped at you got to do that stuff, right? That's what a tourist does.
Of course.
Yes, absolutely. So
And,
Draven, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mike.
I was going to say, Draven, with my question, I guess, for you, I know you mentioned you had a bazillion questions, so I'll steal one of them. But one question I have for you. So I believe, if I'm correct, the count that you're up to right now is that at 318 balls that you've gotten at the field?
Yep, correct.
All right, awesome. And so, if you could take me back, I believe your first ball was back in 2018. How long was it before you realized, you know what, I'm going to continue to do this? Like, did you have 50 balls and you're like, you know what, let me keep going? Or did you know right from ball number one, like, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, like as soon as like this is my first ball. Over time, I just collected a bunch of signatures, but when this ball started it all, because like once I caught this one, it gave me a feeling. I was like really happy, proud of myself. So I just kept on doing it and doing it and doing it, like without even thinking about it, pretty much.
That's awesome. And because I know one thing that's funny in Wrigley Field, those that may not know, there's traditions with balls, collecting balls, especially if their ball's being hit by the other team, throwing it back on the field. You know, maybe if it is a Chicago Cub that hits it, trading for something. So are the majority of the balls that you have, are they kind of a mix and match of foul balls, of home run balls, maybe mostly from batting practice? Is it kind of like a mixture?
Yeah, it's all a mixture from everything.
That's awesome.
So Draven, I have a question for you, and Daniel, please chime in as well.
Yeah.
You would be a perfect person to ask this question, because you have literally 300 living examples. Has the ball changed? Do you see a tighter weave on the ball? Is it smaller? Is it bigger? Is it lighter? Is it heavier? What's your thought?
To be honest, not. They're like all the same. Like they all feel the same. They all weigh the same. Like every time I catch a ball, I just like toss in the air, and like throughout time, like I don't feel any change in them, but there might be like I don't really feel anything.
I mean, yes, I feel a little different. The ball,
Right.
compared, like I said, when we went. I mean, I've been going to games before him, and
Mhm.
I was not lucky enough to get a ball until he started going. We started going together. I guess all the older people don't have a good chance, but yeah, I noticed a little change of ball. Okay, like these balls are more smoother. The other ones were more rougher. The weight, uh, just by a little bit. The only thing that for me that changes the commissioner from back when I used to go watch them play. But yeah, I know there's a little difference in the ball, but he Ryan's at this point, I don't think he notices it yet, but I noticed just a little different. Especially when they mud the balls, when they're brand new, they mud it. You can tell the difference there.
Oh, there you go. There you go. 100%. You know, Ron Darling, who does who does color for the Mets, he used to pitch for the Mets. He says that he thinks that the stitching is a little thinner, so you can't grip it as much. So that's why it's sliding out of people's hands a little bit, because more people getting hit. But when I was researching, getting ready for this podcast, I was like, I'm going to ask him about that. So, like, don't give away any industry secrets, but what is your modality? Like, don't give too much away. Like, but what is your strategy that you got so many balls?
Well, with me and him, like I said, he didn't notice. He thought it was just pretty fun as a kid. Like he thought it was pretty fun collecting the balls and everything. And one day I told him, "Look, there's a guy that does this like for a living, pretty much. I mean, like he collects. He's at like over 10,000 balls. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, but you're starting before him. He started like at 15, and you're only back then. He was only when it was like official back in 2021. He was about, how old were you, 2021? You were 12, 11 going on 12. He started getting the ball, so I started showing him the videos of Mr. Zach Hampo, and he's like, I want to meet him. I'm like, you sure? Like, yeah. So we started. I found a way to befriend him, meet him, and then we're pretty much friends now. Me and Zach, us and Zach. But the secret, there's no secret. Pretty much, he's just real polite. He's real nice. He says, "Thank you. You're
Isn't
welcome."
it amazing? If you're nice, the good things happen.
Yes.
Nice and not shy.
Right.
And the good thing about him is that he gives the balls away now. He gives them away. These here were probably 90 balls in here, but all of the other balls he gives them away.
And that's great.
He just keeps the momentum. He keeps one if it is a moment, and the rest he just gives them away to kids. Whoever doesn't have a chance back in the upper deck, he goes up there and gives the ball away. Pretty much.
That's awesome. And while we're talking about balls, one thing I find fascinating, is the history. We talked about how the Chicago Cubs have been around since the 1800s, and so they still have the manually operated scoreboard, as you guys know, but those listening may not know that it's still manually. But I find it fascinating that there has never been to this day a ball that has struck the scoreboard. I believe one from Schwarber went at the top, I believe, if that's
the
correct.
other side, the one
side?
the right field scoreboard. They hit that
Right.
one.
Okay. Yes. I mean, that in that history, I find that's just amazing all that time. And then to find out that the only time it was ever hit was actually by a golfer, I think it was that teed off from home plate.
Right.
That was the only the only time it's ever been hit. So that's amazing over all those years. But I guess Daniel, talk to me, I guess, a little bit just about some of your best experiences at Wrigley over the years. I mean, I know it's hard to probably quantify just a couple, but there has to be one or two that just kind of jump to mind. That
Well, for me, when I was younger, I think one of the best experiences was my first game at Wrigley. I was in 5th grade. The Cubs were not good. It was 1993, and I showed up and was like, "Wow, this is Wrigley Field." It was like I was only 10 years old, and I'm like, "This park is nice," but it was cold, but it was nice. And of course, I mean, we had the cheap seats all the way to the top. I couldn't really see that much, but that was an experience. My first game ever. And then another experience is probably Wrigley is probably when I guess when he started realizing who the Cubs were. When we went to our first game together, the Cubs hit like 8 home runs.
Wow.
And the Cubs actually won that game. So his first game was the Cubs winning. So that was probably my best experience with him, watching the Cubs win, and the 8 home runs. He had a blast, and it was just fun, pretty much.
Yeah, because sometimes you never know. You might, you go to a game, it's 2-0. As an avid baseball fan, you might love that, but then you're taking a child, and they may want to see some action. And so the fact that first game had the 8 home runs really went a long way for that. And Daniel, forgive me if it's a little predated your time, but did you ever get to go to a game with Harry Caray in the booth back in the day?
Here's a fun fact, and it sounds similar to your story about the ball, somebody snatching it away from you. And so I went to Wrigley Field with my friend. It was probably in summer 20 something, and 1998 or around, before he died, 97. So we were there, and Harry Caray was in front of us, and he was signing autographs. And I told my friend, let's go get his autograph. He's like, no. I'm like, he had a phobia with old people. I don't know why, but he's like, no, let's not go towards him. But he was right in front of us, Harry Caray, signing the balls, hitting autographs, and look what happens. A year later, he passes away.
Right.
So but Harry Caray was right in front of us, signing autographs.
Right in front of you. Now, a fun fact with him that many may not know. Again, I love finding out these little things. So he actually declined. So the whole take me out to the ball game and Cubbies, he declined to do that. And apparently he was secretly recorded doing it one time, and then it kind of just stuck. And the story, it's history. But initially he declined to do that. Now I find myself still going to Mets games or Rays games. I live out here in Florida, so I'll go to the Mets when they spring training here in Clover Park, or I'll go to Tampa Bay to catch a game. And I'm still finding myself safe for the Cubbies, even though I'm in Tampa Bay. It's just ingrained when you sing that song to me.
Right.
So, yeah.
I truly believe that everybody on some level who has left their state for whatever reason to travel is of a certain age has to at least admire, if not be a Cubs fan, because they were one of the first teams on a national cable station. Those TBS, and what is it called where you are?
We used to be called the Superstation.
That's it. Yeah, it's the Superstation. And I used to watch it. I used to visit my grandmother in Phoenix. And that's how I fell in love with the Cubs. Watching Cubs baseball in Phoenix.
Superstation. Right here, marquee now, but
watching day baseball with my grandmother. A little soda, a little pizza. Let's go. Let's have at it.
Can you guys there in Chicago, if you were at home, are you able to watch the game directly, or is it blacked out? Because here, for example, here in Florida, I'm a Mets fan, but Tampa Bay Rays games, Miami Marlin games, we can't watch them on the MLB Network, and you can't watch them on unless you have cable TV, that's the only way you can watch them. Otherwise, they're blacked out for I think it's 2 hours after the end of the game. Then you can watch them on the network. So I'm assuming there you could watch it real time.
Not if you have cable.
No,
I mean,
okay,
it's all through the marquee, like the Yes Network in New York. It's the
Yeah.
marquee network here. You need to have either DirecTV, AT&T, Fubo TV, or something like that. But yeah, and even with season ticket holders get free MLB network, it's still blacked out.
gotcha. So this question's actually for both of you. So I'm a big food fan, and sometimes I'll go to the ballpark and I'll be too interested in getting the food and stuff, and I'm like, I missed the whole inning. Usually,
But as
when
a
I
Met
go,
fan,
like,
it's a good thing you missed it.
Yeah, like I went to the Mets season opener, and I share with on the first episode, and every time I left, they scored more runs. But at Wrigley Field for both of you, I'll ask, what's your go-to? Are you traditionalist? Do you just go for that hot dog? Is there a burger or Cracker Jacks popcorn, or is there something special that you always make sure you get?
Before we answer, I watched the first episode, so they have something against no hot dog eating. What was the first episode that you guys were talking about? Like you guys like the hot dog, but not the fancy food. Well, this guy loves to eat because we have tickets to the W Club, so that we have downstairs all catered and all this stuff. So he doesn't go traditional. He goes straight to the cut meat and the salads and all that.
Well, no, see, now that's different because you mentioned it. I'm not just saying this because we're all together, right? You're in the W Club. That's different. You're not up in the bleachers, the upper tank, eating a salad. You're in the club. That's what you're doing.
But he and both me and him love the hot dogs that they serve outside. It's a big difference.
Yep.
Like in the vendors when they sell the hot dogs, that tastes way better than the ones downstairs. Because downstairs they're like, it tastes weird.
Yeah, it's like the bread is like cold, the hot dog is like like sometimes it's just out there and it's just like it's not as good as like the wrapped ones that are in like their little container walking around.
Yep.
And it's just different, a whole different experience.
I got to tell you something, and this is gosh honest truth. When the Mets were really they're awful, but when they were really awful, in the late 70s, they used to have cups for your beer or your soda that you had to drink quickly because the cups would disintegrate. You start to see the white from the cup. Am I lying, Mike? Right? The little white would start floating around. You've heard these stories.
Yes.
Hurry up! First of cold beer didn't exist. Warm beer started warm, and then eventually, if it's a hot summer day, it went hot. But you would literally start to get the sweat on the bottom of the cup. You knew, hey, I'm probably best served drinking this thing right away.
Right,
And the hot dogs were a wonderful shade of green. And
yeah, like the classic RC Cola. Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
RC Cola over there. They had RC Cola.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was a staple at Shea, but you had to drink it right away. And
You had to
of
drink it.
course, you in your head it was like, oh, it's the best thing. And then I saw it at Dollar General and recently, when I say recent, like a year ago. And I was like, oh, I have to have some. And I'm like, man, like I built it up in my head to be this great thing. And I guess those times are different.
So
I'm talking about food. This is the food that he pretty much. I don't know if you guys see it.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts and I don't know what.
Well, see, you're a healthy man. Again, you're in the W Club. That's different. You're okay. You're
Yeah.
not. First of all, Brussels sprouts were the biggest lie growing up. I'm a tangent guy, right? We never had Brussels sprouts. We heard they were terrible. They're delicious.
Yeah.
I love Brussels. And I said to my mother, because she lived with me when I was a kid. I'm like, why didn't we have Brussels sprouts? She said, I don't like them. Well, I would have enjoyed them. They're very good. I enjoy them. They're very nice. So, somebody who's never been to Wrigley Field before, and seriously, they called you both up and they said, explain the experience to me. What is it like? Because it's in the middle of a community. It's just like right there, and explain how it's different than going to any other, except for Fenway. Those two are just different.
Well, for me, it's like now every time I walk in there, even at this age, even after over 100 games, it's just like that feeling like, wow, like we're so lucky to live close to to live in the same city, same state. And we're so lucky to even be inside the part of that. There's many people that it's part of their bucket list.
Mhm.
to go to Wrigley Field, bucket list. So every time I walk in, I'm like, wow, I'm blessed. I'm happy that I had a chance to be here. And overall, with him together, us both enjoying the scenery, enjoying the smell, enjoying the colors, enjoying the atmosphere, everything pretty much. I mean, nothing could go wrong in there. Like, there's no mosquito bites, there's nothing. It's like pretty much when you go to Disney World, nothing hurts you over there. There's bugs flying, nothing hits you, nothing bites you. I mean,
Right.
everything's perfect for me.
I agree. But now explain, the first time I went to Wrigley Field, I actually sat in the right field across the street on the roof. Explain that
Oh
to
wow.
people.
On the rooftops?
Yes.
Oh wow, yeah, that's pretty much outside the stadium.
Oh, yeah. But
And
yet it technically belongs to Wrigley Field.
except for one, but technically all those rooftops belong to Wrigley except for one.
Right.
One rooftop. But yeah, even the players throw balls across the street all the way over there. And there's a party over there pretty much. And they have their own, it looks like a bleacher, part of a bleacher out there.
Yep.
So it's pretty nice. I personally never been there because I can't go because they don't let him in. But I personally haven't been there yet.
Right.
But soon I will.
Yeah, I went there for a corporate event, and everything you're thinking in your head right now, Daniel. Yes, that's you know what I'm saying. And then explain to people if you can. The game is over. You don't go home. There are bars, there are restaurants, there's food.
Right.
Beautiful.
The days that I'm not there with him, yeah, you go across the street, you go to Sluggers, you go to Murphy's, you go to all these different bars, and the party continues. Win or loss, there's people still happy. They're happy, they're enjoying themselves. Of course, they're drinking, they're singing. Like the party never ends, pretty much. Even a couple blocks away, it's still going on. When me and him go together, we walk. If we don't park by the stadium, we walk. We park a couple blocks away. It keeps on going, and he's asking me, "What's inside there?" I'm like, "More parties." Once you hit 21, you're allowed to go inside. I mean, I would love to take you in there. He could go to Sluggers because Sluggers
Right.
they allow kids upstairs. He's been there a couple of times, but never during a game. And I say the party still continues. I mean, everybody's friends, win or lose, it still goes on.
Beautiful. That's what I love about baseball.
That's awesome. And I'd like to ask too, before I'd like to get into some, all-time team and current team talk before we wrap this up in a little bit. But I'd like to just ask too, in terms of Wrigley, so what makes Wrigley Field, we don't want to touch, you don't want to touch too much of that, but it can never be called anything else, right? It can never have a different name, but are there any modifications, renovations that you would be okay with as a traditional, with that stadium being traditionalist, or do you want things to basically stay exactly the same, or is there anything that would be okay with you to see?
Like I said, I saw Wrigley Field before the whole the remakes. Before they used to, you know what? I'm more of an old school person, but right now the field is nice, as good as it is, and I don't know how much they could add to it. To be honest with you, I know they fixed the bullpen. They made underneath the bleachers, and they put a couple of signs out there, like with LED signs. They just changed the lights last year. They made them into LED now. No more. They keep flashing W's, and it's better now. But I don't see any more improvement it needs. I mean, I don't think they're gonna put a dome for the rain. I mean, it's pretty much I don't think
Right.
and they cannot. I know in Chicago they cannot modify it as much. It's still a landmark. So I know the marquee sign cannot be touched. The name cannot be changed. So there's nothing much you could do to it. It's beautiful as it is. I don't know how much they could add to it. To be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So one thing I'd love to touch on now, kind of going across the board, and Draven, I'm sure you maybe haven't seen some of the so going back to, let's say, from 1980 to now, so if we're looking at like the last 40 years or so, and Draven, again, you may not know, got to see some of these people pitch, but just starting with rotation quickly, just off the cuff, I always like to try to see, okay, what would be like your ideal rotation if you took the last 40 years, and it's like kind of jotted down what my rotation would be, then feel free to jump in, call me crazy, you agree, you disagree. I got Greg Maddux, Carlos Zambrano, Kyle Hendricks, Kerry Wood, and John Lester. There are plenty other names out there. Didn't have as much period of work, but for me, those are the 5 guys. What about you, Daniel? What would you say?
I would say Greg Maddux for sure. Kerry Wood before his injury. I would say if Mark Pryor wasn't injured, he would have been up there as well. Carlos Zambrano, I love that guy. That guy was crazy
Yeah.
and good. And I would say I probably would add. Ooh, you got a lot. You got like Rick Sutcliffe in there as well.
That's my guy. That's Rick Sutcliffe. I thought in his prime was better than all the other pitchers that you mentioned. He was lights out.
Yeah, we're talking from the 80s to now. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, right now we don't have Kyle Hendricks. He lost his stuff, but I mean, hopefully he'll get it back. But yeah, pretty much I would just add Rick Sutcliffe into it. Maybe Mark Pryor before he got injured.
And Draven, how about yourself? Whether it be all time or from what you've seen, who would be your 1 or 2 guys that you'd put at the top of you could make that dream rotation?
From my dream rotation, like from what I've seen at least, because I don't really
Yeah.
know much of the people from back then, but from what I've seen, definitely like honestly, I'll probably put what's that guy's name? The one that you Darvish.
Oh, you Darvish.
I'll put you Darvish.
I love you. I'm a big Yu Darvish fan, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll probably put him. Lester is good. Hendricks, Kimbrough, he was a good one.
The reliever, quick Kimbrel, okay.
And then the left one.
The left. Which one?
Was it Chapman or no?
Chapman.
I forgot his name.
What year?
Oh,
you talking about you talking about relievers to give the starting pitcher?
the reliever, like
Oh,
yeah, the reliever.
Oh, you talking about that the guy from the Yankees that came to Chicago for 1 year?
Oh yes, yeah. His name eludes me, but I know who you're talking
The one
about.
that threw 105 miles an hour, Chapman.
Chapman.
Yeah, let's try Hawkins. Yeah.
No, Arnold's Chapman.
Oh, Chapman. Okay. And so, and then we won't go into all the positions, but I'll start with you, Darren, actually. But for the one position I'm most curious, first base. So you can make a debate for, there's a few people, but the two that stand out to me, you have Mark Grace and you have Anthony Rizzo, and even Bill Buckner played there for quite some time and did actually pretty well. I know he's known in Boston, but if you had your money on one of those two guys, Darren, Mark Grace, Rizzo, who would you go with?
Bill Buckner. He was just Bill Buckner, Mark Grace, and then Rizzo. Rizzo, good hitter. He's a home run hitter, and that's
Right.
not a lot of range. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy, but Grace and Buckner were wonderful fielders. No pun intended with Bill Buckner with what happened there. But all around players, Bill Buckner was a borderline Hall of Fame. Mark Grace was very steady. So if out of the two that you chose, I would say Mark Grace.
Yep.
Mark
And
Grace.
Daniel, what would you say? And then we'll go
I
to
would-
current team.
I would say Mark Grace and then Derek Lee.
Oh, very good call. Good pull.
Derek
Yeah.
Lee.
Hey, I got
So-
a question. Hold on. I quick question for Darvin before I forget. Darvin, you're at an age where this question I think is to me important. Pitch clock. What do you think? You like it or you don't?
No, I hate the pitch.
Thank you. This kid rocks. Take your son to a Cub game, right? No, he's so right. It takes away from the game. Thank you. This whole lie that the kids. No, say there you go.
And are you just as up against? Because I know Darren turns red when we talk about ghost runners. But are you
Garbage.
what are you guys' thoughts on that? Because I mean,
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's like I don't like it. Do you like the Ghost Runner or the California rules? No. He didn't even like it during Little League. He didn't even like it.
Yeah.
During
Thank
'Cause
you.
every
I
single-
hated it, Little League.
yeah, every single extra inning game goes 10 innings. It's just,
You know what was the worst one? Sorry to interrupt you. It was the post-COVID, the COVID extra innings, only doubleheader 7 innings, and then they had a Ghost Runner still, and that killed pretty much the game for me.
Yeah, 100% kill game. Well, you want to game and where are you going? You're gonna home to argue with your wife. Where you go? Just go. I'm watching free baseball. Come on, this is great. Pitching 12 innings. The whole thing. It's just these softball rules. I'm sorry. See, you got me over it. He's a kid. He knows what he's talking about. Next, I'm sorry, Mike.
there's just something about that. Have you ever been to that 14th inning? I didn't know 14th inning stretch is a thing, and I went to a St. Lucie Mets game down here, and oh man, whoever was left, the 32 people that were there, they had a blast with it. But it was a
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
So like, there's something to making it to the end. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah.
But
I've been there twice.
Yeah.
Yes.
twice, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a couple that I met while I was in Port St. Lucie that they met at Shea Stadium on their first date. They were going to go to a doubleheader, and the first game of the doubleheader went 21 innings, 1-0. And then I think game 2 went 10 innings or whatnot, and they loved every minute of it. I guess not for everybody. Most of the time if you bring someone with you, you promise them the 9 innings. They're kind of asking like, when is this going to end? Is it almost the 9th inning? And you told them it's the 9th inning, and then they get their hopes up, and then bottom of the 9th, the game gets tied, and they go to extras, and they look at you like they want to like slice off your neck, and you have to like break it to them like, yeah, we got a whiles to go. It's not like the fourth quarter in football. Like 1 inning's not terribly long, but I love it. That's just me. But
Well, especially when it's like a 3-hour rain delay, and then the game was extra innings. We were there at a park one time. Like we got there, it was like an early game at 1, and there was like a 4-hour rain delay. We didn't leave there until like 1, 2 in the morning.
See, I love that. I love that. I mean, because that's when you remember that you're going to be stuck in traffic somewhere. Dublin, you're gonna be stuck in traffic somewhere when you're 35, and you're gonna think back to going to the ball game with your dad at Wrigley Field, the time that there was a rain delay to 1 o'clock in the morning. You're not gonna remember who won or lost, just the fact that you went through that together at the ballpark. That's what it's about. Getting those balls together. That's what it's about. In my opinion. By the way, I love that den of baseball. By the way.
yes.
So. Hey, Michael, can I ask a question before we wrap, though?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. No, that was the question. That's it. No, listen. So,
I
I want to ask both of you, and then Michael, you too. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of Chicago Cubs?
Who, me first or them?
Yeah, you first, and then your
Oh.
son.
Okay, I would say Sosa. I'm a big Sosa fan. I would say Sosa, Hack Wilson.
Wow, very good. 180 RBIs.
Yep. Hack Wilson. I would say I'm a more modern Greg Maddux. You want 2 more? Greg Maddux, Dunston, and
Sean Dunston, very good. Brooklyn boy. Excellent. Yes.
Sandberg. That's it.
Oh, Ryan Sandberg, great Cub. How about you?
You go more modern, anyone.
Yeah, modern's okay. You don't gotta be all old people.
Well, definitely Sammy. I would agree with that one. He was a good one. Like from the old people, I'll say him. Who's the one he says? The Rhino.
Greg Sandberg.
Ryan Sandberg.
Great. And what about modern guys? Three modern guys.
3 modern guys. Probably, I want to say
Bias. Okay.
Rizzo, maybe.
Morel. Christopher Morel. Wow.
Oh, very good. Very good. How about you, Mike?
And with Christopher Morel, I really hope, because I know there's still talks. I really hope he gets that third base spot this year and gets that opportunity. I know it's still kind of up in the air, but I would like to see how that pans out. Not just that, but also the first base battle this year is very interesting. And I could talk about all positions for days, but Dom Smith is injured, but there's a plethora of guys trying to get to that spot. But for Mount Rushmore, my 4 would be Greg Maddux, be Sammy Sosa, it would be Ryan Sandberg, and then so I'd be torn between Alfonso Soriano. What he did in a short amount of time was great, but I think I would still give the nod to Andre Dawson as that other one. Can't forget about Amiris Ramirez as well, but I think final answer would be Sandberg, Maddux, Sosa, and Dawson.
Awesome.
I like that. So I would pick, and again, Andre Dawson, without question. Rick Sutcliffe. Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks at shortstop. And Fergie Jenkins. I mean, when we played Fergie Jenkins, we were like, all right, loss. We got a loss. We're losing 5-3. The man never gave up more than 3 runs and pitched 9 innings. And he never sweat. He would. So those are mine. And then Who played right field for the Mets? We got him from the Cubs. He played for Yankees as well. Hit a lot of home runs. He was on a 2015 World Series team.
And played right field.
Yep. Chad Chris. He played for the Cubs. He's very good. Played center field. Played center field and right field.
I believe
2015
you.
Mets.
I just
No, I'll let you when you wrap us up, we can look up right now.
so yeah, can't think of any more. But no, so this was a blast. I think we there's a lot to be excited about the 2024.
Curtis Granderson.
Granderson, there you go.
Yep.
Always had a smile on his face all the time.
The best.
Yes, the best. He reminds me of. I see a lot of Randy Rosarina in Granderson in terms of just excited to play the game.
Yes.
But I guess to end this, both Daniel and Draven, thank you so much for coming on. What can we look forward to in 2024 for the Chicago Cubs? Is it a playoff run? Are we talking about them in the championship series or beyond, or is this more of a year where they're not quite over the hump yet? What's your thoughts?
I would say hope on division, winning the division is the goal. Wild card will be probably most likely the wild card if St. Louis doesn't wake up. Last year it was like a fluke year for them; they were really bad.
Yeah,
I think this year they're gonna come back fighting. So I would see a playoff Cubs team, probably division, championship series. Not yet. You still got the Braves, you still got the Dodgers, you got all those teams. So I will be happy with playoff. Last year I thought we were in the playoffs, but it didn't happen. But I would consider playoff division winning. Expecting for the Cubs, for him number 400. Hopefully, he's at 318, 318, 317. He needs to hit 400 by next year. So hopefully he'll do it.
you'll get.
Definitely.
Listen, I'll take that. I agree. I'll sign up to that in a minute. You know, unlike the Mets, will be out of it by April.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't. They can't make it that far. Don't.
Gentlemen, it's
That's a
been great
stretch.
talking with you. Michael,
Yes,
take
it
it
was.
home.
Yes. So, well, thank you so much for being part of this podcast. And until next time, we'll see you around the ballpark.
All right, take care, right? Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.